Hello, welcome to Citizens Divided Election Night. I am Travis Legg, your game master. I think that's the term we use when we're playing Savage Worlds. I don't know. We're just making this up as we go. So tonight we're playing my Savage Worlds cyberpunk setting called Citizens Divided. And a little bit about the world of Citizens Divided for you. The setting is 2068. The economy, the world economy, had a bit of a collapse a couple decades ago, and that ultimately led to a war between the corporates and the proles, which was started by an event called the Fall of the Wall, when a bunch of proletariat violent rebels blew up a good chunk of Wall Street. And this turned into sort of a guerrilla war that took place over a couple of years, ultimately resulting in an agreement called the Treaty of Albany, in which aggressions were ceased by both sides. Everybody decided to go to their respective corners and play nicely with one another. And there was a slight redistribution of wealth, which resulted in, the wealthiest having access to about the same amount of wealth as the lower 94% of the world, as opposed to the lower 99%. So it was a lot of stopgaps and ineffectual gestures, and people are still pissed off, and the world is still unequal and terrible and sad. But there are various people who sort of rise up and do their best for making the world a better place, sometimes just out of moral obligation, other times because, hey, there's illegal work and it pays. And that's basically the overall setting. Our particular adventure, Election Night, is set on, strangely enough, Election Night 2068. Give you a little bit of recent political insight into the United States in 2068. The Fortune 15, which are the largest 15 companies in the world, all of them have extraterritorial legal privileges and basically represent sort of a global, one might say, corporate court if they weren't afraid it might get them sued. So the Fortune 15 have long held power over the U.S. government. Most elected officials at the federal level are firmly and blatantly corporate assets. The office of the U.S. presidency has been held by a series of corporate stooges since long before the fall of the wall. One might say the early 21st century, probably, at least. The corporate, the Fortune 15 usually puts forth candidates for both parties, so that ultimately, no matter who wins, they have their hands on them. But in the most recent election, 2068, a woman by the name of Mia Morales, who is formerly a member of the Reconstruction Independent Party, has become nominated as the Democratic candidate. She received overwhelming support so far throughout her campaign, retaining even the support of independent voters, largely due to the fact that she served as a fighter and is one of the signatories on the Treaty of Albany. She, in fact, was an ExoPilot, which are sort of they basically fly power armor, and they were pretty much the reason why the proles were able to fight the wars, because several of them defected from their corporate masters and took their suits with them. So she's popular, she's well-liked, she is the first person that's not in corporate pockets that has a chance of maybe making things a little better in the good old U.S.A. So naturally, there are several people who don't want to see her sit in the Oval Office, not the least of which is her thoroughly evil and corrupt opposition a Republican nominee by the name of Mitch Kavanaugh. And so how this affects our adventure for the evening is you are all in the sort of smallish Wisconsin town of Mendota, a suburb of Madison. Now, South Central Wisconsin has been a bastion for sort of prole, sympathetic politics for a long time. When the basically the crash happened and the war against the corporations started, many people from this area sort of banded together and started creating communal living resources and have pretty much been very, what one might call politically liberal ever since. Mendota itself is right on the basically on the outskirts of a corporate territory, and several of its municipal services are handled by corporate contracts. So, for example, they do not have a public hospital. All of their ambulance services and hospitals are run by a corporation. They do not have public safety. Their police is run by Secure Corp, basically a corporate police. Public works is all done through a specific waste treatment corporation. Very little of the infrastructure of the town is done through public funds. Areas that are off of this grid a little bit are commonly referred to as the slums, and probably 70% of the people living in Mendota live in those slums, including your characters. So since we're doing the getting to know you bit, why don't we go ahead and start and meet everyone's characters? I will start, I'll go clockwise for myself. So Franz, why don't you go ahead and introduce your character to us?
Yeah, I'm Franz Gruber. My brother Hans, he was killed so terribly at the Nakatomi Plaza in the tower. He was thrown out of it by some pig dog, and since then I have just been trying to make it here in the Americas. It is terrible.
That's fair. Excellent. Next up, Cobalt. Give us a little bit of insight into your situation.
I just want as many physical or otherwise augments as possible. Nice. And I have named myself after the most illustrious metal, which is cobalt, used in a bunch of my enhancements.
Beautiful. I love it. Teal Brutal, please.
Teal Brutal at your service. Equal parts sass and glory. Teal Brutal is the protector to all who need it and the nightmare to those who don't.
I love it. I love it. And last but most certainly not least, the good doctor, Dr. Lucian Greaves, please.
You're muted.
You're muted,
Doctor's
doctor.
muted.
The doctor muted himself because he didn't want to make noise while you were talking. Dr. Greaves is a former combat medic who kind of fled to this side because he didn't like the way things were going before. And he wanted to see democracy kind of reign, so he came with one of his friends who was an ex-pilot.
Beautiful. I love it. All right, and you're all sort of chilling out. It is, in fact, Election Day 2068. You have all gone and made your voice heard because you're all legal. You all have the appropriate legal paperwork in order to do that and whatnot. But you're also all familiar with the way the world works. You're acutely aware of the fact that most of the time, what passes for American democracy is really an exercise in corporate stoogery. But because you are aware of the real hope that Mia Morales represents. Getting somebody who's concerned with the people in office. And since you all made it to the polls early, you're hanging out in your sort of communal office space, for lack of a better term. It's kind of one part body shop, one part chop shop, one part hacker hangout, and there's some floor that's not too horrendously uncomfortable to sleep on should the need present itself. So tell me about, we'll say polls open at 9 a.m., so we're going to say it's 1 in the afternoon right now. What would all of you be doing at 1 in the afternoon?
Drinking.
That's fair. That's fair. Having a few drinks.
I mean, I would be pumping iron because even though Hans is gone, in his memory, I have to make sure that I am always pumped up.
Excellent. And Dr. Greaves, anything in particular you would be working on or focused on?
He would basically be in his lab, probably, checking on anybody that needed to be checked out that can't afford healthcare. Because he wants people to have healthcare so they don't die.
There are plenty of those, for sure. So we're going to go ahead and put Dr. Greaves kind of over here at a desk that has a little table at it so people can be seen there. Franz, you're going to be kind of standing over this way, just chilling out, doing your work. What's Teal up to?
Teal is probably writing her next speech, so she can tell the children, don't you fear, Teal Brutal is here.
Love it. All right, so you're working on a composition. We'll pop you over here at this nice sort of old school desk. Maybe you're writing by hand.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're all sort of engaging in your various activities, there's a knock on the outside of the door, kind of the entrance that you would expect if the doctor is seeing patients. You'd expect people to come to that entrance.
Doctor will get up and I imagine we have a little peephole.
Sure, yeah, you got one of those nice slidey metal.
He'll look. He slides it half an inch and looks out to see who it is.
You see a girl, Layla. She's, that she does some very light courier work. She does handle documents of dubious legality when the opportunity arises and the pay is good. But she mostly does above the board deliveries. She also does a little bit of work thanks to some modifications you made to her Cyberjack as a SimSense recorder on her days off, which is highly illegal and sometimes dangerous work. As you're looking her over, you do immediately see she looks kind of haggard.
He would see her.
What's that?
He will immediately open the door when she sees that she's haggard.
She comes in. You all kind of can see. She's got a black eye. Clothes definitely look like she's been roughed up a bit.
Layla, who did this to you?
There's Secure Corp pigs.
Why did they do this to you?
I don't know. Me and my sister were just out. We were probably 2 blocks away from the polling place. We were on our way in to go vote, and they just started harassing us. Shell got away, but because I distracted them with my face and my arm.
Let me check you out. So they were keeping people from going to the polls and voting? Is that what they were trying to do to you?
I mean, seemed like it to me. We weren't doing anything. They didn't even like charge me with anything. They just like got in the way, asked us where we were going, what we were doing, started getting real loud and aggressive and offensive, and that's when I told Shell to run. And she starts like tearing up a little bit. And why don't you, Doc? Why don't you go ahead and roll for me? We're going to do this. We're using Astral Tabletop, as we often do on this channel. And these are brand new. I built them myself, character sheets, so please forgive me if they don't work right. But we're going to try it. So you're going to make a skill check. This is effectively most of how Savage Worlds works for those of you who have never played it. So basically, because you're a player character, anytime you roll, you will roll your wild die. If you open your character sheet, I would ask each of you to do this at this point. Open your character sheet and pop it out into a separate window so it's not in your way. So you can kind of look at it while you're looking at the map, if nothing else. So you will roll a wild die, and you will roll the trait that's being called for.
Okay.
So most of the time, that'll be a skill check. There are occasions where you might make an unskilled attempt, but they're pretty rare, and when you do, you really only roll a d4 for it. So what I would like you to do is, if you have that little hot bar at the bottom of your sheet, you should see a little caret that you can click
wild
to
die
expand it all the way
and
out.
smarts?
Wild die and healing is what you're going to be looking for. So if you hover over each of those, you should see healing eventually. So you're going to look for a wild die and a healing. Most of the time, your target number is going to be 4. There will be some modifiers here and there. So go ahead and give me that wild die and healing.
Whoa, it rolled those a lot.
Now, usually, if you're going from the hotbar, you should only have to click it once.
Okay.
But we'll go ahead and take your last wild die. All right, so you get the best of them. That's a 10. You'll notice that if you hover over on the chat, the way that these work is if you get the maximum value on that die, it explodes and continues to do so until it no longer rolls its max value. So you can wind up with some pretty wild rolls, like the 10 that you got on the healing, for example. So yeah, you're looking at her over. It looks like she got some blunt force trauma to the face, a little bit of you can tell probably that the cops like grabbed her by one arm, threw her to the ground. Looks like maybe she was hit with a baton a couple times. You're able to give her sort of the basic first aid treatments and patch her up as best as you can. Give her something for the pain.
Okay. Definitely do that.
And she says, "Yeah, I mean, like the cops are dicks and all, but they don't have time or get paid to harass us. You know what I mean? Like, I've never had that kind of an experience with Secure Court."
I don't like where I think this is going.
Me either. But thanks for patching me up, Doc. What do I...
Because if they've done it to nothing. It's on the house. It's on the house.
All right. Well, thank you.
I mean, you just brought some very valuable information. We could...
She says, you think so?
I mean, it just... They didn't do this last year that I remember. And Mia has a good chance of getting reelected, but if they keep the people from going to the polls, then it kind of swings in the corporation's favor. And we all know that the corporation has their hand in the cops' pockets. So if they've done this to you and your sister, who knows who else they've done this to or are going to do this to.
I don't know. Have you checked social media at all?
That's not really my thing. Do one of you want to check social media and see if anything out of the ordinary is going on?
I do have a cell phone on my list, but this is also, 40 some years in the future.
Right. So your cell phone is
Yeah.
a complete AR capable device.
Gotcha. Okay, so it's not just like something actually from this era,
No,
and I'm
like-
just carrying it around as a paperweight or something. Okay.
No, your cell phone is effectively able to make. You can make any basic hacking roll with a cell phone. You can make any computer check with a cell phone. They do basically everything that a desktop computer can.
Okay.
You're not going to be as good at it as like a hacker, obviously. If you have like a cyberware head deck, you're going to be a little better than you are than a dude with a cell phone. You can.
Do you have to pay for a service? Is it like I have to have a AT&T or something? Because I probably don't have active service. Does anyone have some service?
I mean, there's.
I would let you know, but I'm like passed out drunk behind the table.
I'll hand you my cell phone without looking up my paper and just be like, what rhymes with porridge? What rhymes?
Courage.
Thank you, Doc.
You're welcome.
Why is Layla here? And then
What's
I'll
your
try to get caught up.
password? What's your password? It's locked.
The only password that ever needs to exist.
Oh, creme brulee.
There we go.
All right,
I'll
so
do some searching on their interwebs.
you log in and you hit the social feeds. You're seeing a lot of people complaining about Secure Corp's behavior, not just locally either. It seems to be happening, looks like by your count, in 12 different cities where Secure Corp has contracts. People are talking about them just harassing them, getting in their way.
Douche, dickhead. Dickhead. What is going on? Cobalt, wake up. I'll throw the phone at him.
So, Cobalt, you're hit by a phone.
I like roll over a little bit and I like knock the bottle of Kiko Men because I'm not drinking alcohol. I drink soy sauce.
Why do you punish yourself?
Yeah, so I'm like,
That's what that smell is.
yeah, I'm not. My eyes are all bloodshot and red, and I just kind of go, what?
Look at that, it's terrible. What do we do?
I'll tell you what we do. We go be the hero the people need. This is the time for us to stand up and protect those who need it. Right, Layla? That's right. Thank you, Layla.
I'm not standing up anytime soon.
We can put you in the wheelbarrow that's outside. I think
How many of
someone
those
stole
did
the
you
rim,
drink?
though.
How many of those?
There is just an assortment of condiments. There's like ketchup around me, and mustard, buffalo sauce, and mayonnaise, and I just kind of like not my hand, but my forearm because I don't have like depth perception almost. I just kind of feel around. I go, that many.
Is that a Taco Hell mild sauce bottle? I thought
Yes,
you
it's
were drinking
vintage.
that.
It's vintage.
I thought you stopped drinking that.
I
You can
guess
quit the sauce, but the sauce won't quit you.
Lewis says, I suppose if you leave it sit long enough, it's palatable. Listen, I just don't want to see you all get yourselves hurt. I'm going to run home and make sure that Shell made it there. But I guess message me if there's anything else that you need from me.
Yeah, that would be great. If anything happened to Shell, stop back by later and I'll patch her up too. No charge.
Appreciate that, Doc. Good luck.
Mhm.
Runs out.
Deal. Cobalt, why so blue?
See, you gotta get on my writing commission. I need these in my my compositions.
Oh, I think I need penicillin that will.
When you say that to me, I'm looking around, like almost like I'm looking for something blue to see if I had like spilled something on myself while I'm like laying in essentially what looks like a dumpster under the desk.
He was using a pun.
I don't know what kind of sauce that is. I'm like, and I'm fumbling in like my chest pocket, and I'm pulling like a cigarette out to give me a stimulant to wake me up.
Hey, do we know where Layla lives? Like, is she moving away from the polling center, or is she like going to end up going back towards it?
She will go back in the general direction of the polling center, but the polling center is not in the slums. And
Right.
you know she lives in the slums, so she won't make it to an area that's.
So after making painful puns, it clicks. Maybe we should go and go with her just in case.
That's not a bad idea.
All right. So
Actually, that's
Kick Cobalt.
Yeah,
Get
let's go.
off.
you all heading.
Crash falls off of me as I stand up.
All right. Taking anything particular with you?
I take my multipass, the Desert Eagle multipass.
Very good.
Take everything I need for healing, just in case. My friends like to get into firefights sometimes.
All right. Grab a go bag.
I'm gonna go get my cell phone that has hopefully not been broken yet.
No, it's just got some like unidentifiable goop on the corner of it.
Rub it on Cobalt and like try to get it off, and then dramatically suit up, overly dramatically, like take off my belt and then put it back on in like a very Batman type of way.
You have it on backwards, Teal.
Thank you. Wait, how does? Let's just go and like try to like stealthily fix it.
During Teal's panicking, one of the few bottles of Kikoman that I haven't knocked over, I like put the bottle back on and like shove in my pocket.
Love it.
I scoot on it away.
All right, so you all get outside and catch up with Layla. She's not like running or anything, so it doesn't take you. It's not too hard for you to catch up with her. And she's like, "Oh, hey, where are y'all going?"
Go ahead.
We were just gonna go. We remembered we needed to vote, and we thought it was in your direction, so we thought we'd walk with you.
Oh,
Right.
Getting some fresh air.
well, thanks. Yeah,
It's
don't breathe.
wonderful out here.
Don't breathe too deep. The air quality was red for like the 7th day in a row.
I can fit you with a breathing apparatus, Franz, if you really want one.
No, I'm fine.
And you take off and start heading toward Layla's neighborhood. Now, as you're walking through, you can see there's a fairly good amount of traffic out. People are impassioned about this election. They definitely are getting out there in numbers not like has been seen in recent memory to make their voices heard. But you go ahead and round a corner, heading up towards Layla's place, and you see a group of Secure Corps officers kind of circled up around what appear to be just some average everyday citizens. Why doesn't everybody go ahead and give me a common knowledge roll? And just, again, remember, anytime you roll, unless I specifically tell you otherwise, you will include a wild die with your roll.
Does it matter what order they're in, or
Not at all. No.
Okay.
Franz with the big brain.
It looks like it's still calling me augment.
Oh, it probably
From-
would. It probably will in
Yeah.
the chat. Yeah.
Yeah, so I got a 4 on my wild die and a 2 on common knowledge.
Okay. Cool. everybody else, what do we got? Lucian got a 2 on the Wild Die 1 coming out. Okay. Cobalt.
5 and 3 for Teal.
2 and 1.
All right, so Cobalt and Teal, you're both aware that this block is not, unless something has changed recently, this block is not under Secure Corp's contract.
Meanwhile, I'm whispering to Layla, Layla, ask Teal and Cobalt why they're so blue. Ask them. Ask them, it's hilarious.
She just slowly shakes her head and just don't ever change, friends. And she looks over and like she stops dead in her tracks when she sees the cops.
I'm definitely giving this side eye to Franz.
So Layla, where do you think Shell was going when she ran?
Home probably. I mean, well, hopefully she stopped at the polls and then went home. He like looks over at the crowd to make sure that Shell's not with them, and you see her relax a little bit.
Right. So I'm gonna look around to my friends and kind of see what they understand about the situation. Just to get caught up, because while Teal Bruto is the hero for the people, she's not so blind to her heroism that she's willing to sacrifice those people to get a speech out of it.
That's fair.
Yet. We don't know what's going to happen soon. But like right now, she's still...
Right.
And
unfortunately, Franz has not noticed shit. Sorry, the dice just hated me.
Well, you just didn't realize. You absolutely all noticed those cops. The general knowledge roll was to see if you recognize that they're out of their jurisdiction.
Right. So
you do see the cops.
Tell me that.
Yeah, that'd
be awesome.
If I see you still being to like ask them why they're so blue, I'll be like, no, wait, focus on the fact that they're not where they're supposed to. Like they don't have jurisdiction there. Keep the blue thing for later, for sure, and actually like write it down. But for now, they are way out of their jurisdiction, which they were never.
Maybe they're lost.
That I'm not.
We could help them. We could help them find their way back to their little houses.
Yes, we should help them in any. Yeah, we should definitely help them. I like how you think, Ron.
What would y'all like to do?
Layla, maybe you should hide before we help.
Yeah, Layla, you might want to lay low.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna climb in this.
I see what you did there. That was kind of a pun. That was funny.
Listen,
doctor.
I'm gonna climb in this dumpster over here and just wait here.
Yeah.
Like literally climbs inside of a dumpster. Let me know when it's safe.
I mean, Cobalt sleeps on worse, so it can't be that bad.
You have a point.
I was half ready to follow her in, to be honest. You never know what good stuff you might find in there.
So which way are these?
So they are over. I don't know why I have the dynamic lighting on. Hold on. I can turn it off. Is that better?
The sunglasses I'm wearing. It's so dark. I can't see. Oh my god.
Yeah. How should we help them?
So you can clearly see that there are, looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 officers who have surrounded 6 citizens. They're currently standing literally, got them like hemmed up, and are like demanding. You can hear that one of the women that's with them is sort of arguing loudly, like, "We don't have to present our papers to you. We're on our way to vote. It's a guaranteed right, and we are not on corporate territory right now."
I'm just going to take a look at something.
Yeah, me too.
What is it you would like to check out? Are you checking out weapon ranges? What are you checking out?
So I noticed that I have this. Go ahead, Chess.
Oh no, you go. I'm still.
I was just wondering. So I noticed that I have a gas mask.
Yes.
Is that more for defense than I had planned offense? Like, are gas canisters something we have access to?
You're
like
not.
Gas and stuff?
You're probably not carrying any. The cops very well might be.
Oh, excellent. That'll be fine.
But you're probably not carrying any unless they're listed specifically in your gear.
And it would be under gear. Okay,
yeah.
Perfect.
You can absolutely get them in this setting, no problem. But no, their gas masks are commonly carried, especially if you think for people who expect they might run into corporate security, because corporate security is fond of tear gas.
Weird.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
It's strange, right?
Yeah. Yeah, super strange. Okay. So we have been like a unit, a squad, a shenanigan bunch for a while, yeah?
You have engaged in shenanigans. There has been tomfoolery on at least one occasion. There was some malarkey.
Beautiful. So taking Franz's lead, I'm going to, you know what? I think we should go there and let them know that they are not where they're supposed to be. And nothing will probably happen. They'll probably be like, you're right. It's our mistake. We should go. If, and this is a hard if, they don't do that, we should be ready to once again engage in some malarkey. I don't want malarkey. I doubt it will come to malarkey.
But shenanigans?
Shenanigans are always welcome. So
okay.
Yeah. Would you be down for some shenanigunnery? If it came to that.
When you say that, I pull out my Desert Eagle.
Yes!
And it has, I think, enough range to shoot Secure Corp Officer 6. I pointed at him and I look at you.
I mean,
maybe we should see if they need to go home first.
Yeah. Although you can't spell shenanigunnery without gun.
Yeah. I feel like Cobalt needs to have this augment that every time he pulls out the Desert Eagle, it makes an eagle noise.
That'd be funny.
I actually am not in range, I think. I think the farthest my Desert Eagle goes is 60 and they're 85 away.
Yeah.
Should we go say hi?
I think we should go say hi.
Yeah.
I'll pull out a fire Taco Bell packet and rub it under my nose.
So just to give you just a quick system aside for ranges, your weapon will have 3 ranges listed: short, medium, and long. Okay. For some reason, forgive me, because my acrobat just threw a fit and is blocking everything right now. Sorry. Thanks, Adobe, for your guest appearance on my stream.
Make sure they send you money for that.
You should. So at short range, your target number to hit something is 4. At medium range, your roll suffers a penalty. So you get a -2 penalty at medium. At long range, it gets -4. And extreme range, if your weapon is capable of an extreme range, it's a -8 to hit. Just an FYI. But that is how that works. All right.
What you're saying is shoot at them as soon as I get within long range. Got
Yes, absolutely. So you're all going to make your way over there? And just so that I'm clear, you can control your tokens, correct?
Yes.
Excellent. So yeah, if you want to head that way, you're welcome to do so.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking a swig of my soy sauce and hopped up on fire Taco Bell sauce.
Are any of you approaching with a weapon visibly drawn?
I am.
I mean, I have my guns out.
Nice.
I don't.
Franz, put those away. You'll get arrested.
Secure Corp Officer 6 is doing sort of the arguing. Him and Officer 5 are arguing with this lovely lady, Jane Uniform number 2, who is sort of quoting U.S. constitutional rights at these officers. And they're kind of chuckling a little bit, and they're like, lady, we ain't public servants. And Secure Corp Officer 4 steps over and says, afternoon, folks. What can I do for you?
Philip, how are you doing? It has been a while. Philip, is that you?
They all look the same in those get-ups.
Yeah, they do.
Tell them apart.
Are you Philip or are you John?
Take your Peter?
Peter! Of course it's Peter.
What I am right now, sir, is starting to get a little bit irritated. Why don't you move along?
That is a woman, you stupid ass.
My apologies.
Teal Brutal at your service. And I actually came to help you out because you all seem to be lost.
No,
and
I
has
think...
no idea of gender identification.
I think we're fine. I think you should probably move along before you wind up in a little bit of a jam here. We're trying to escort these citizens back to their homes. I don't know if you've seen, but there's an awful lot of panic going on in the streets today.
I don't see any panic.
I don't see any panic either.
Sorry, Dylan. I think you're on the wrong street.
You look a little panicked.
I did hear, I heard, and I know this has to be a rumor, because fine, outstanding law enforcement like you all would not be manhandling people trying to go vote. I did a kind of a physical on someone who was on their way to vote, and they said that they were brutalized by someone wearing police gear. I mean, that's so barbaric. That's so like 2020.
That is very 2020. Can you tell me, so you're a doctor?
Yeah.
You tell me who this patient was, Doc?
Susie Q.
Susie Q. He takes out like a flip notebook, but it's almost like a mini tablet. So he flips it open. It kind of like beeps like a communicator, and he has a stencil and he's writing with it.
When he does that, I visibly jump.
All right. Is your friend okay over there?
I'm definitely not on edge right now.
But I just want to make sure you spell Susie Q's name right. It's Susie, spelled Susie, and then RQ silent Q.
It has like
silent
a hyphen,
hyphen,
like an umlaut above the
squiggly
top.
tilde.
Right.
That's what they call it in Spanish, tilde.
Yeah.
How do you write a silent Q? As he's asking you that question, you see Secure Corp Officer 5 like step in on Jane Uniform number 2, like chest to chest with her.
Gotcha. Okay.
And he's like, lady, you don't shut your mouth, I'm going to shut it for you. Now, I'm giving you all one last chance to walk away. Otherwise, you're all going to have a very painful ride down to the station.
Can we move our tokens where we want?
Is that a dumpster right there?
Yes, this is a dumpster right here. This
Okay.
is the remnants of a building. Looks like it might be probably a homeless people's squat.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I'm like rummaging. I move closer and I'm rummaging through the dumpster.
Uh-huh.
Do any of those guys do anything?
Not a thing. But Franz, as you start to step over, Secure Corp Officer 4 kind of steps in the way and puts his hands up and says, "This is official business. I would recommend you don't get involved."
Oh, but it's okay. I was just going to give him a flyer for my gym because he looks like he needs to like bulk up. He's kind of a pussy. You see him over there? He's really trying to show how muscular
Why don't
he is,
you make
but
it?
He's like,
Why don't you make a taunt check?
Check.
And let me just check and
if it's
see
in red, what does that mean?
Red means that it's unskilled. So that means that you will use a D4 and a wild die.
Okay.
And I just need to check and see if these are wild cards or not. I don't think they are.
I have no
All right.
idea if those are good rolls, but his spirit is very good.
Yeah. He looks
He's still a
over
pussy.
and like rolls his eyes at you and is like, "Listen, man, you don't want any part of this. This is I was having a good day, and I don't want to have a bad day because I'm spending the rest of it scraping your brain off my boot. Back off."
Like these people were having a good day until you came and showed them your pussy face to them.
At this point, I'll yell excitedly from the dumpster,
Mhm.
and I'll run over to them. I'm like, here, take the edge off. And I have a broken glass, like, cup. It is all shattered at the top, but it still holds stuff in it. And I have just mustard. And I'm just, here, take the edge off. Does the Securo Corp guy take it?
Not even a little bit. No, he looks over at you. So where are you at right now? Like, where are you running up to?
I want to run up right to him. Whichever one's given Franz issues.
Well, 4 is the one that's kind of stepped up and was like, "Hey, why don't you calm down?" 5 is the one that Franz is shouting back and forth with.
Okay, yeah, so I'm working my way over towards 5 then.
All right. 6 says, shouts over to his friends, like, "Can you all handle these?" And he turns and starts walking over and says, "All right, I'm going to ask you one last time to disperse, and then we're going to make you disperse." And they start.
Cool. And I'll just go to offer him the broken glass of mustard.
Mm-hmm.
Does he take it?
Nope. He,
all right, so I would like to try and ram it in.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
I was going to say, when he doesn't take it, I would like to ram it into his throat.
You really should have took that.
Right?
There was a simple
I'm
option.
deeply offended.
All right. Well, in that case, you'll make a fighting check, which he will resist with his fighting.
Really likes the number 11.
Nice.
So I do a wild die and then fighting?
Yep. All right. So you come up at his throat with this broken glass, and he parries with his stun baton. And now we will have initiative. And the way initiative works is I will deal each of you a card. And this is going to be fun, because it requires a little bit of finessing in Astral. What I should have done if I was a smart man is give each of you your own decks. I am not a smart man. So, cards come out.
Volker, the buster would have cut the baton in half.
He shorted it out, it explodes in his hand. All right, so I'm just looking to see how this goes. All right, so all right, we're going to draw. I'm going to draw in clockwise order. So first draw goes to Franz.
Is that a Jack of Hearts?
Jack of Hearts, yep. Second draw goes to Cobalt. Third draw goes to Teal. Fourth draw goes to Lucian. Fifth draw goes to Secure Corp. And the final draw goes to the uniforms. Okay. So, everybody will probably want to make a note of what got drawn for them. And let me go ahead and mark those as drawn.
So what do these do? This is how our initiative is determined?
Yep. Okay. The 7 of diamonds. Excellent. All right. So, couple things to make you aware of real quick. You each have a trait on your sheet called bennies. Okay? You can spend bennies in a couple different ways. If you need to re-roll a trait, you can spend a benny to do that. And you get to keep the best total from all the rolls. Unless a critical failure is rolled, which is a 1 on all your dice. You can spend a benny to recover from being shaken. It's instant, may be done at any time, even during somebody else's action. You can spend a benny to prevent wounds or recover from being shaken by using a soak roll. So you can use it, you can say, if you take damage, you can say, I'm going to spend a benny so I can soak. And you can spend a benny to draw a new action card. So if you wanted to change out your action card and try a different draw, you can spend a benny to do that. You can also reroll damage with a benny. And you can spend up to all of your bennies to alter the environment. So kind of like dramatic editing in Trinity, where you say, oh, I want there to be a fire extinguisher right here. And a benny. In addition to your bennies, you each have a sheen trait. And your sheen is a representation of just how cool you are. You can do it, you can use it on any roll as long as you haven't used a benny on that roll. Or any other function that it works on. You can't spend a benny and a sheen on the same thing at the same time. And I'm just bringing that up right now. You'll have to forgive me because Adobe is doing its own thing. So Sheen lets you also reroll a trait test. Shrug off the effects of being shaken for 1 round. So this just gives you a round of not being shaken. It doesn't completely get rid of it. Ignore wound penalties for 1 round. Make a soak roll. Stave off bleeding out for 1 round. Or stave off fatigue for 1 round. Oh, and I'm sorry. The Sheen doesn't let you reroll it. Sheen lets you add a d10 to the roll result.
So where are the bennies on the player card? I don't see them at all.
Top middle.
Very top middle, you have a benny's trait.
Mine says 0.
You should all have 3.
Oh.
If you don't have 3, that's my fault.
I feel so elated.
So I could use a benny to re-roll the mustard attack?
Normally, yes. I'll go ahead and let you do it. Yeah, why not? We've pulled initiative, but let's go ahead and I'll let you spend a benny. If you want to blow that benny now, you certainly can.
I want to slice this dude's jugular with mustard.
All right, so you may re-roll the entire test for a benny, or you can spend a point of sheen and roll a d10 to the higher of your dice.
Oh, let's do that. I got 2 sheen.
So you spend 1 sheen.
Shit.
It's a 1 shot, yeah. Just
so
FYI for anybody who's watching this and considering playing Citizens Divided at some point, Bennies you gain every session. Sheen, you only gain Sheen when you increase rank. So you get it far less frequently than Bennies. But continue.
So I rolled a 9 to his 11 originally, so I have to roll a 2 or higher
No,
to get him?
it's the highest result out of your dice when you roll. So you rolled a 5. So you would need to roll a 6 or better to hit him.
How the fuck is that guy rolling an 11?
Because the dice explode. So if you roll a 6 on a d6, it rolls again and adds to the total.
Air.
And it keeps doing it as long as
I just need to get one slightly above average roll. All right, well, GG.
A little bit of mustard goes up and goes in his eye, and he has a tear. He's very sad.
You did your best. You did your best. Your
I've
efforts,
just had too much Kiko Men today. That's all.
Right. Your efforts will be remembered by probably no one. In fairness. So the countdown goes. So ties are resolved by suit. Any queens? Yes, the cops go on queen.
But I'm a king.
But you're a king. King is higher. Yep. So you have the first action. What would you like to do?
Well, I'm assuming I'm still holding, but the glass jar.
Right. I mean, yeah, he parried you effectively. So
I would like to try again.
Excellent.
So it is fighting, you said?
Yes, you will roll fighting, and wild die.
Woo!
That will absolutely hit. He does not have a parry. He does not have an ability to use an action to parry right now because he doesn't have an action yet. So you do hit. When you hit someone, in the event that there's no action for them to interrupt you, you put your melee attack against their parry trait. You also have a parry trait on your sheet, right? So that's the target number to hit you. Barring any action being taken defensively. So you definitely hit. And that will... Let me check and see if you get an ace on that.
Stabbed a dude with dumpster mustard. What'd you guys do today?
So you will roll your strength, and you will add the difference between...
I hope you got his shots. Oh, no, I don't.
You will add the difference between your original roll and his parry, which is 5. So you'll add 6 to whatever your strength is.
So I sent strength to chat, which was 5.
Right. So your damage value is going to be an 11. So, that might actually raise. Hold on.
Ooh.
I'm going to just take my own advice and pop this sheet out so I can get it. He is wearing...
I mean, it was either mustard on the rocks he was getting hit with, ponzu sauce, or a can of soda. Those were the choices out of the dumpster.
Not quite enough to get a raise because of his armor. So he is shaken at this point.
No idea what that means.
So that offers penalties to his rolls, and also means that if he takes another wound, he then takes... If he gets hit again, he takes a wound. So I'm going to add... We're going to have this beer stein be the shaken indicator. It was secure officer 4 you were hitting, right?
Whoever walked up to stop me, it was 4 or 6.
6 was the one who actually walked up to stop you. So take that off of him. With a little beer stein.
I missed and then when I missed, I came back up.
Right. And
Like
caught him like
space.
across the face, so he's shaken. Just an FYI. When someone is shaken, they're nicked, bruised, or otherwise rattled. They may only take free actions such as moving, and then at the start of their turn, they have to recover from being shaken by making a spirit roll. So you can't do anything while you're shaken. That's not
So
a
I have
free
to spend
action.
an action to become unshaken, basically?
No, it's a free action to try to roll out of it. They have to make a spirit roll. Otherwise, they can only do things like move, hide, or not hide, but like duck, stuff like that.
Nice.
All right. So now we go to Queens. Now we go to the police. Secure Corp Officer 6 is in fact shaken. Got that little beer stein to show off that he's shaken. All right. So they're just going to go kind of in order. Officer 1 is going to step up and take a swipe at Joe Uniform 1. Joe Uniform 1 gets hit with a raise, so he drops to his knees. Secure Corporal Officer 2 steps up to take a swing at Jane. Misses. Jane steps back and falls into a fighting stance. Secure Corporal Officer 3 pulls out some pepper spray and shoots it at Jane 2 over here, or Jane 3 over here. That gets her right in the eyes. Officer 4 draws his stun baton and is going to take a swing at Cobalt. What is your parry, Cobalt?
5.
Right. He tags you, does not raise. So you do take the shaken penalty. So if you want to add a beer stein to your character, you may do so.
Sure.
And I just need to look up the stun effect of the stun baton. Okay, you are stunned, so you are distracted. You fall down onto one knee. You cannot move, and anyone who tries to attack you gets the drop on you. At the start of your next turn, you can make a vigor roll. Success means you're no longer stunned, but remain distracted. But you'll also need to make a spirit roll to get past being shaken. Unless you spend...
I can do that at any time or only on my turn?
At the start of your next turn.
Okay.
So you're basically like dropped to a knee because he hit you with a fucking stun baton. Secure Corporal Officer 5 draws his firearm and says, "Everybody back up! Nobody do anything stupid!" He's going to try an intimidation roll. So I need each of you to roll spirit, please.
And that's with the wild die, right?
Yeah, you don't have to because he can't intimidate you right now because you're too busy going to be intimidated.
That's what I'm normally doing when I'm drinking all my condiments.
Okay, so Dr. Greaves is fine. Dr. Greaves, you do get to add the wild die to this as well. So
Yeah, I did. I got a 2 with it.
okay, cool, rock and roll. Franz is fine. Teal is not, unless you want to drop a Benny or
Oh, yeah.
or a Sheen. Okay, Benny for
Benny, let's
reroll.
reroll. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. All right, rock and roll. Yeah, you're all Cobalt. What about you? Did you drop a Benny as well?
Oh dear God.
Oh,
Teal didn't actually think there'd be guns. He's like, whoa, hold on.
at least it's not a like a botch. So yeah, you are going to be considered shaken because you're scared.
Mm-hmm.
So that brings us to next. We had kings, we had queens. Oh, Secure Corp Officer 6 is going to pull out a set of zip ties. But he's not going to try to touch Cobalt with them yet because that would be a bad idea because he's still going. So he's just readying a set of zip ties. So Queens, next up is Jack. Hey, Jack's.
Got the Jack of Hearts.
That would be you. And Jack of Clubs was who?
Is me.
Excellent. So the way that goes in order, suits break ties. Not that this really matters between two people on the same side, but heart beats clubs. So it goes spade, heart, diamond, club.
I'm more than happy to allow the doctor to go before me.
Actually, I was going to let you go before me.
Okay, all right.
After you.
So-
No, after you.
We're
So
going to confuse them.
Right? Which one had the stun baton that hit Cobalt? Was it 5 or the one between us?
The one between you. 4 was the one who pulled the stun baton.
So he's facing away from me, right?
His back is to you, yes.
And those wonderful gas canisters we were talking about earlier, does he happen to have any on him?
A tear gas canister? He can for the low price of 1 Benny.
Well, look, this Benny disappears off my sheet. Going. Done. Oh, what is this? And I'll go ahead and grab that. Do I need to roll anything to snag it off his person?
If you're just gonna like pull it out, like that's gonna be your action to pull it out of his off his belt. Yes, that will be a fighting check.
Are they like pins, or does it need to have like some kind of impact to set it off?
No, you can unpin it. Absolutely, you can
I'm just gonna unpin it.
You can try to do. That's funny. You could try to do it with sleight of hand, like without him noticing, but that would be very.
I'll just unpin it.
All right, make a fighting check. Okay, so his parry. Five. So that is sufficient for you to hit. That's the difficulty. So you reach up and pop the pin, and it doesn't quite go off yet, but it's in the mail. What's our next Jack going to do?
Is there like an interact? Can I like smile at the guy next to me and then put on my gas mask?
Absolutely, yeah. That's what they would call a free action. You may do so.
Okay.
Excellent. What would the doctor like to do?
The doctor is actually going to take a move and get over behind Teal because he's not really a fighter. He just wants to make sure that he's in position if he needs to heal anybody. He can do that.
Okay. Excellent. Any other actions?
Actually, you know what? I'm going to actually take that move back. What would I need to do to rouse Cobalt?
So, in combat...
I was going to say, just get my cayenne packet.
Yes, exactly that. Let's see.
I really wish I could have thought of a better name because I had this idea all day that my dude was going to be addicted to condiments. But I was like, I don't know. All I could think of was the Wayne's World part of the movie where he's like wearing all that Dorito insignia. Like, who would sell out? And that was like going to be all my augmentations was just like
your Oggs are
brands of
sponsored.
soy sauce and shit. That's what I wanted to do, but I couldn't think of a good pun for a name, so I just went with Cobalt.
Works.
Okay,
Yeah.
so healing itself, there's nothing you can do specifically about the shaken condition.
Okay.
Because healing only applies to wounds themselves. But you have like a medical kit, so I mean, you could hit him with like a stim patch.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll move to here and hit him with a stim patch.
All right, excellent. I just need you to go ahead and give me a vigor check, if you don't mind, there, Cobalt. Okay.
Vigor, you said?
Yep, vigor. Yep.
Oh, is it Cobalt or me?
Cobalt.
Okay.
Yeah, and your wild die would apply. Oh yeah, you're good to go. So that removes the shaken condition from you. It does not remove the stun.
All right.
You should have asked him if he had Grey Poupon.
All right, so that was Jack's. Yeah, 10s, 9s. That's I believe our citizens here. So Joe Uniform here is shaken, and he's like, ah. Jane Uniform is going to back up like past people because she just got pepper sprayed at. Full pace. Joe Uniform 3 here is going to also take off running because cop and he's scared. Jane Uniform 2 ain't playing this crap. She pulls out a switch and runs up to stab this dude.
Yeah, you go, Jane.
Gonna rock that unskilled fighting die. Wait. Yep, sure is. Swipe and a miss. Joe Uniform 2 gonna take off and scatter. And Jane is gonna try to back up. Alright. 8s. 7s.
7.
What you got?
So if I do use a sheen on the action, it lets me ignore the shaken for one turn, right?
Yes.
Or for one action, at least.
Then you have to check it again.
Okay.
But your turn is just starting, right? You weren't shaken though, right? Or no, you were from being.
Yeah.
So you can make a spirit roll to see if you can overcome being shaken first, like for free.
Okay.
You don't have to do anything. That's a free check. That's funny.
Oh my gosh.
16 on the wild die, 1 on your spirit roll. Yeah, you're fine.
God mode.
Yeah.
All right. So then, while Teal wants to pull out the Desert Eagle, there's too many people running around, so she's just gonna run up to number 5, and I think she's gonna go switchblade and stabbing too. Yeah.
All right. Go ahead and make a fighting check.
You're good at fighting, right, Teal?
5. That's its parry.
Hey.
So you get to roll strength plus a d4. So you'll roll your strength die, wild die, d4. And you'll add the highest of one of those, and then the d4.
Wild die.
Oh my god.
And I'm assuming.
So an 11.
Yeah.
He's shaken, but not wounded.
Okay. And then, yeah, that's my turn.
Give him a little bit of a beer stein here. That was 7s, right?
Oh, I should remove mine.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So 6s, 5s. Is there anybody who hasn't gone yet? 4, 3, 2, 1. Cool. So we go back to King. And the King was Cobalt, right?
Yeah.
What you got, Cobalt?
Cobalt had an epiphany, is now going by flavor.
Use the hot
Courtesy.
sauce.
Courtesy of the chat. I was gonna say Flavor Flav, but I think that's too much. So,
Flavor Flav!
Yeah, boy.
oh god, could you imagine mixing all those puns together with like condiments and shit? So I have to roll Spirit, right?
No, because you got stem patched. But
I was still shaken.
You weren't. You got rid of the shaken. It didn't get rid of the stunned. So for stunned, you roll vigor.
Okay. Good.
Yep. You're no longer stunned either.
Perfect. Is the guy that I hit still shaken?
He is.
All right. I'm going to shoot him with my gun.
All right. So you strap up and take a pot shot. Go ahead and roll. Let me just see if there's anything special for point blank. Okay, nope. So
That wild die plus shooting.
Yep, shooting and wild die. All right, cool. So 8 absolutely hits. And
It does 2d8.
yep, so you drop your 2d8, and then it'll be plus 3 will be the total to see if you get raises.
So 16.
That will raise. In fact, that will raise. Let's see.
Is it a mustard gun? No, this has the cayenne packets in the bullets. With some Dorito dust. Or would it be better if it was ranch dust? I don't know.
So he will take 1 wound. He will remain shaken. And why don't you go ahead and roll 2d6 for me as well.
6.
Quick note on his sheet. So he is now, because of the wound, he is now -1 to any action he takes. He remains shaken. Just checking out another little thing here. Because one of the things that makes Savage Worlds so neat is that it has a thing called setting rules, and these are sort of toggles you can turn on and off to represent the type of world you want it to be. One of them is gritty damage, but it only applies to wild cards. So this means you. This means any special enemies that have names that are important people. And that means when you take a wound, you roll on the injury table and apply the result. But these are not wild cards, so they just take the wound. And they're not wild cards, so they just take the wound. So actually, you knock him the fuck out.
Is he dead?
He drops to the ground. Dead is probably not accurate.
I'll say welcome to Flavor Town.
We going to Flavor Town! It's been a while since I've been to Flavor Town.
He pops his head up out of a trash can.
Yeah.
So he drops. because he's not a wild card. So that has gotten real now. So that brings us to our queens, which is the cops. They are basically changing tactics quite a bit. Officer 3 pulls a pistol and is going to take a shot at Flavor in Flavor Town. A 3 does not hit you, so there you have it. Bullet sort of ricochets off the ground next to Dr. Greaves. Officer 1 is like cuffing Joe Uniform 1. Officer 2 pulls his pistol, takes one step forward, and takes a pot shot at Flavor. That will hit, because you are in short range. So, would you like to try to soak that, or do you want to just see what the damage is off of his pistol? Because ranged attacks, you don't get to parry. Unless you have, like, superpowers. Which you do not. So you want to just see what the damage is first before you decide about a soak roll? Alright. 2d6 plus 1 for his heavy pistol. That's 8. So that would be shaken in a wound if you don't soak.
If I don't what?
If you don't make a soak roll. Unless, wait, what's your armor rating? Do you have armor?
I think I actually do. But it's at the bottom? I can't remember. I remember seeing it.
Yeah, check your gear and your under power where it says your cyberware.
Because I know, yeah, I have cyberware armor, plus 2 armor, stacks with normal armor.
And then you're wearing your leather jacket, right?
Yeah, so 3 armor?
Right. So you would take 5, which would make you shaken. That still is a raise if you don't soak. So you'd still be shaken with 1 wound if you don't make a soak roll. And you might still be shaken with 1 wound if you do make a soak roll, but at least it's an opportunity. So you can do that either by spending a Benny or by spending a Sheen. And then you would roll
I'll spend
Vigor.
a Benny, I guess? That forces him to...
No, that does is that lets you roll Vigor and try to get higher than the difference in the damage. So if you get a 1 or better on this roll, you'll reduce it to just being shaken. And if you
I got 3.
Okay, so with a 3, you're just shaken.
Okay.
If you got a 5 or better, then you wouldn't get wounded. Like, it would have just been a grazing wound. And shaken is still pretty much just a grazing wound anyway. Make sense?
Sweet. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
cool.
just you break up every now and again. I'm like, trying to.
Sorry.
My augments aren't doing very well. You're not coming in clear.
I'll fix them when we get back to the office.
I've got caked up A1 sauce in them. Clean them out.
Secure Corp Officer 5, currently taking Jane to be the bigger threat, is going to take a swipe at her with his stun baton. Ooh. Oh, he swings with the stun baton, and she catches his wrist and yanks it out of his hand.
Jane's a
You
beast.
done messed up now, eh?
And then that leaves Officer 4, who is going to reach down and to grab his stun baton as a cloud of gas shoots up into his face. He does not seem to be immediately affected by, like, inhaling that gas, but it has blinded him. So he's going to be -4 as he takes a swipe at Flavor. He throws his stun baton on the ground, clumsily trying to, like, realizing he's so distracted, he's trying to get his belt off now at this point. So he is going to be shaken as well as a result for the rest of the turn. Or, well, until he's not shaken anymore. So he becomes shaken. So that brings us to Jax.
Looking around at the gunplay, I shout, "We have a Malaki escalation! Malaki!" Where did the stun baton land?
Close enough that you can reach it.
Oh, well, I might as well. And then just hand it business end first back to number 5 over here.
All right, they're shaken, so they're minus. I think they're at -2 to their parry. Let's see. Nope, their parry is not affected. You are, however, in effect, ganging up on them, right? Because
yeah, because that was his stun baton that Jane 2 is also
right. So that means that you get a +1 or -1 to your difficulty for each person that's ganging up on someone.
Gotcha.
So that will hit.
Okay.
So go ahead. It'll be a straight roll, but you also do get stun on it. So.
What roll is that for the stun baton?
The stun baton. I'm sorry. Stun baton is. Why do you keep disappearing on me, window? Stun baton is strength plus D4. Six. Okay. So his armor rating is. It's 4, so that would be a shaken, but he's already shaken. So that's a wound, so he drops.
Okay.
It's the ground unconscious.
Is there a doctor in the house?
I knocked the wrong one out. Oops. Because that was 5 you were knocking out, right?
Right.
Cool. All right. Our other Jack, Doctor. What would you like to do, Doc?
Is Cobalt hurt?
Just shaking again.
Yeah, he's shaking.
Does that mean I get the beer stein again?
You do get the beer stein again.
Okay.
Doc is actually going to, uncharacteristic of a Doc, step here and try to deck this dude.
All right, very good. Very good. Now, remember,
Right back.
Doc is a pacifist, so I need to check and see what that...
pass my fist right through his face. Is that a bigger check?
I need to see what exactly that will affect, because you do have the pacifist hindrance. So that will affect your roll. I'm just not sure. Give me just a moment as I look that up. All right, you will not do anything to permanently harm any living sapient creatures. You may use non-lethal methods, but only in self-defense or the defense of others, such as punching somebody in their face piece. That is totally fine. So that will be a fighting check. If you do not have fighting, it's a D4 and a wild die. Or as Shepherd Book said, the Bible is somewhat fuzzier on the subject of kneecaps. Excellent. So the D4, because it's just a raw D4, that you aced, so you get to roll the D4 again and add it to the... you can still ace on the unskilled. So it's a 5. That is exactly what you need to clock this dude in the jaw. Roll your strength and wild die. I was gonna say don't forget the wild die. All right. So you clock him in the jaw, but his body armor is a little bit much for you to get through. So it doesn't quite hurt him. Now you could Sheen or Benny for a reroll.
I have his attention. That's kind of what I wanted to do, so the others could beat up on him.
Okay. You do have his attention. That is fair. All right, so now we're at 10s. 9s. 9s are good citizens. Jane's going to step up and take a swipe at this dude that's stunned from behind with her whopping D4. Nope. She hits him and she gets him with past the stun part of the stun baton, and the impact knocks it out of her hand. Bounces harmlessly off of the armor. Secure Corp Officer 2 is chasing these people, so they're all sort of taking off in separate directions. And poor Joe Uniform 1 is definitely going to be incarcerated before the day is out. 8s. 7. So you're shaking, right? Or is that...
Oh, no, I beat that last time, I think.
Okay, then you're good.
Yeah. So then I'm going to run up to Officer 2, and hearing the catchphrase malarkey, knowing that we have Jane the MVP on our side, I'm going to shoot him. There's no, penalty for being up close and personal with the Desert Eagle. All right, yeah.
None at all.
So then wild die, and that is stealth. Where's shoot him? Where'd the wild die go? Scott.
It's wild, so it ran away.
The bright side is you can't parry shooting. Your target number's 4. So you pop him. Go ahead and roll the damage on the weapon. If you get past his armor, you're good. You're in good shape.
Okay, and so that is 2d8.
2d8, because it's shoots through schools. All right, so that not only will get through his 4 armor, but will also step up. So you blow a barn door through Scare Officer 2. You see,
yeah,
I keep killing the wrong guy. You see internal organs and bone come out of his back.
I'm just gonna whisper to him, "You should have just taken the mustard," knowing it wasn't him, just to be an asshole.
Nice.
I can't fix those type of holes.
And that's the end, right? That's the end of the turn,
yeah.
Effectively. End of initiative. All right, so we go back to King. Flavor, it is your turn. You are shaken again. So go ahead and give me a spirit roll, please.
Five.
Yep, good to go. So your shaken ends. You may act normally. Shaking is over. Yeah, you're good. So you can remove the beer stein and act normally.
Okay. Yeah. It was shaken, and you may.
Yeah, I don't know why my internet's being, but it is. So I apologize, both to you and anyone watching.
Removing the beer stein is a pain.
Sorry about that.
Okay, so it's just this 1 and 3 left, or is number 4 still alive?
4 is still alive. He is currently shaken.
Okay. I will stab him.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
He looks like he needs a condiment.
Hold that thought. I'm having a tech issue that I'm about to try to fix.
Is Adobe going, hey, you want to download an update right now?
No, it's not Adobe. It looks like it might be on the like Twitch or OBS having a fit. I'm just trying to refresh the stream to see if it's okay. No, it was, in fact, my it was all me hallucinating. Go for it. It was my browser having
Wild Die and Fighting?
Wild Die and Fighting.
I miss.
All right, excellent. Swing and a miss. Good try. But, you get a...
additional die because he's shaken?
No, they get -3 because you're... Basically, you and your friends are ganging up on them. So that actually will hit.
Oh, nice. Never doubted myself.
I forgot because everybody else is down, so now you get a bonus for all your friends being.
So is that like a D4 plus my strength?
Yeah. What you're hitting him? You're still hitting him with the mustard?
Yeah.
No, it's just strength.
But it's spicy mustard.
You do get to roll a wild die.
Yeah, I did ask that in chat because it is really important to know what kind of mustard you are attacking with.
Christ. So you take this mustard jar that's like half broken and just jam it right in his eye. And like he screams as blood starts just spraying out. And then he falls over dead.
I will yell, oh, fuck, run,
you hear, as it comes to Queen, you hear, officers down, requesting backup from Secure Officer 3, who pulls his gun and is going to try to pop caps. He's going to try to shoot. Let's see what the rate on that gun is.
The wrong type of barbecue sauce came out of his eye.
Yeah, was not good. Rate is a whopping 1, so he's going to try to pop a cap in you because you're the one he just saw kill somebody.
I didn't mean to kill him.
2, he misses. He shoots, it goes wide. Officer 1 has now secured Joe Uniform 1. He's going to strap up and take a shot. He's going to shoot at Jane Uniform because he's an asshole. Misses. God, the rest of the cops are all down. That brings us to Jax. So you're sure now that when Officer 3 was yelling, officer down, requesting backup, he was yelling that into a comm.
What's above Malaki? We're about to have another escalation.
Does that make it fuckery?
I think that qualifies for fuckery.
Yeah, that's good. All right, I'm going to take that stun baton, run over, and try and lighten this guy's day. I can't see his number, but this guy here.
Okay. That's
I
Officer
think that's
1.
number 1.
Don't forget, by the way, I spent all the time and energy to put these little dots at the bottom of your sheet. If you are shooting a gun, make sure you spend your bullets. Those are what those dots on the bottom of your sheet are for.
I don't see dots.
Me
It's
either.
at the bottom
on the
of
sheets.
Yeah.
Sheets. Yeah. Got it.
Yeah.
All right, there was my wild die, and fighting. I'm gonna go ahead and let's use Sheen. Let's use Sheen on that.
Drop a D10.
Okay. No.
That brings it up to a 6. You hit. So it's strength plus D4. All right. So he takes the hit and is not shaken, but he is stunned from the stun. So
that's too bad.
Yep. Bummer. All right. That brings us to the dock. What would you like to do, Doctor?
Doc is going to. Do any of the citizens look like they're hurt?
Aside from Joe Uniform 1, who's on the ground, zip tied, no. Well, and one of them's dead, isn't they? Aren't they? Isn't they?
It is.
I don't think any of them are dead.
No,
I think it's just the cops that are dead.
Okay.
Yeah, the cops keep trying to ventilate Jane too, though.
Right, and she's been ducking and weaving like a fucking boss.
We need to hire her.
Yeah.
In a way that we won't pay her, she can keep what we take, but...
See if she'll do an internship with your...
Right. There we go. Right.
Yeah, she can be the dumpster scraper for my condiments.
We've got this great job for you, let me tell you.
What do I need to do to slap the radio out of his hand?
He doesn't have radio in his hand. You're pretty sure that either he's got comms either in his armor or cybernetically installed.
I'm gonna try to... You know what? I'm gonna undo his belt so his pants fall down.
Give me a fighting check. That's hilarious. I love it.
Nice.
Okay, so it would be it wouldn't be strength, it'd just be a D4. But the wild die is sufficient to do it. But drop your D4 to see if
okay, that's right.
Yeah, that's if you're familiar with an older edition of Savage Worlds, it used to default down to your attributes. It doesn't anymore.
Okay, makes sense.
Yep. But the 5 is still sufficient to do it. So you reach down and undo his belt, and sure enough, his pants drop. And I'm going to have him make a spirit check because that is demoralizing. He does not suffer any grand demoralization or embarrassment. He's just mad.
Sorry, you just look like you needed an exam. How long has it been since your last exam?
That brings us to effectively the uniforms are all going to get away with the exception of Jane because she's just gonna ask Flavor if he's all right. Says, "Are you okay?" The Flavor.
I need a mayo shake.
I'll see what I can do. And then that brings us to Teal. Teal, what you got?
I want to pirouette around this one and then just like track and field book it right up to number 1.
All right.
And Desert Eagle him right in the torso.
All right, excellent. And you and Franz are ganging up at this point, so your difficulty's 3.
You can do this, Teal.
Yo.
Oh my God! You can't do this, Teal. What do I have to do to re-roll that?
Benny will do it, or a
Wait, the Sheen adds.
Sheen adds a D10.
The shield adds a D10, right?
Yep.
Okay, we'll do that.
So you're out of
I want to
sheen
look
now,
fancy
right?
when I'm doing this.
Is that your
I
last
haven't
sheen?
used any sheen.
Okay, excellent, cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, drop your sheen, and drop a D10. See if you step up. What? Really? Wow.
4.
It hits.
Out of curiosity, Travis, can you use your bennies and stuff to help others?
You can use your bennies to help others, and the
Cool.
GM
Good to know.
does have bennies, but only if there's wild cards on the table.
Gotcha.
So in other words, if I have a named NPC, I can use bennies.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, 4 will hit. So go ahead and drop the damage on that weapon. And
8.
8. What? Oh,
2d8.
Yep.
No, it's just 1. No, it is 2d8. Yeah.
Yeah. So 9 damage. That will step up, and you spray poor Joe Uniform number 1 just gets covered with intestines as you shoot a Desert Eagle-sized hole through this cop.
He's having a bad day for sure.
He's like,
I don't know if I am.
I just wanted to vote. I just wanted to participate in democracy. Yeah, and this poor guard is dead as folk.
The person that's yelling, am I able to walk up to them?
Yeah, it's your turn, so you could probably get over there. Your move is 6, right? So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, you can get to him.
Yeah, I will walk up to the person freaking out. I'm like, here, you need this. And I'll hand him a Taco Bell packet of fire sauce.
He takes it and goes, but why? And then you can have a Benny for being fucking ridiculous in the middle of the combat. But that was your action. And while I'm giving out bennies for people being fucking ridiculous, Dr. Graves, you should have one as well for pantsing a cop. So that brings us to the Queens, which is the one cop who's left standing, and also the other police. So you do start to hear sirens in the distance. The cop who is still up is going to, because he can't reach his gun because it's on the ground. He had his gun out because he had already shot. So he is going to turn and fire at the one who's an actual threat, which would be Flava. So let's see how that goes. 9.
Ooh.
He does, in fact, hit you. I will let you try to get out of the way because you didn't take an actual dice action yet. So if you want to try
No, you stay there. Get out of the way.
if you want to try to roll agility, you can possibly get out of the way, but there's a good chance he will hit the person behind you.
I'll just flex. Bounce the bullets off me.
Or you can just see if you can take this shot.
I don't think he knows you're talking to him.
I'm trying to think.
Ah,
Can I Benny that at all? With the one I just got? Like, if I make a bad roll, will I be able to...
Yeah, you can absolutely spend a Benny on the roll if you don't roll well.
Okay. I have to roll agility, you said?
Yep, agility and then your wild die. I would spend that Benny.
I'm getting shot for sure. Yeah. So I get to re-roll, right?
Yep, so you re-roll the whole thing.
Oh god.
Oh, jeez.
oh.
Yep, so
Alright,
the bright side is that you reduced his result by 3. The downside is that still steps up possibly twice.
Can I sheen it?
No, because you bennied it.
Fuck.
So I just need to look at the damage chart again real quick because that's a 6 difference. 4 to 7 is you take a wound and you're shaken.
I have 3 armor.
Oh, beautiful. So you're just shaken.
Okay.
Oh, nope. I lied. His gun's got AP4. So actually, yeah, you take a wound and you're shaken. So he hits you in the shoulder.
So how do I mark a wound on my stuff?
So if you look over at the side of your sheet, you'll see where it says fatigue
I have
and wounds.
no idea what you said.
If you look at the side of your sheet, you'll see where it says fatigue and wounds. They have little buttons over your -1 wound. That means that any die roll you make, you're -1 to the result.
Okay.
Now
I could use a stim pack. I gotcha.
You are shot. And we're going to start a little countdown over here in my notes as to when the cops will be here. All right. That brings us to Jax.
I think it's time to make a hasty retreat. And I'm going to come over here and try to shock the nice officer.
Excellent.
You know what? We're almost at the end anyway. Let's sheen that crap.
All right. Drop your D10. Add it to
Fuck you!
That's the difference between a miss and a hit, though. So
yes!
Go ahead and roll your strength plus a D4. He will at least be stunned.
That's what I'm hoping for. The stun is the important part. That strength did not go through. If it goes through twice...
Oh, there we go.
Okay, there it goes. And D4, right?
Yep. All right, so that is enough to shake him and stun him. So you could all conceivably, Doc, starting with you, start running and probably get away before backup arrives.
Yeah, I think discretion is the better part of valor this time because we. So yeah,
I mean, I've been fucking shot, so yes, I agree.
I'll patch you when we get back.
All right. Are you going to do anything, Doc, to try to help your friend move?
Actually, yeah. Before I move, I'm going to heal. That was Cobalt that was shot.
Yeah.
Flavor, yeah.
Flavor
now.
Flavor. Cobalt flavor.
There we go.
So wild card plus heal?
Yes. All right. You start slapping on bandages, and it occurs to you you're going to need to get him back to the shop and dig this bullet out. You get that wound off. So no systematic change at this point.
Okay.
So you see the doc sort of patching him up. Jane in uniform runs over and is like, "Can I help?"
Sure.
She gets underneath one of his arms and starts hefting him up so that she can help him walk, basically.
Okay.
And
yeah, we'll basically move as fast as we can carrying him. Or helping him move.
You all break out.
I think before we go, we really should take all the weapons and put them in Joe uniform, his hands, so it looks like he did all of this, and leave him tied up and run away. Or we can go ahead and free him and let him go too. What do you think?
We should free him so he can tell our legends.
That's true.
So Joe, uniform, covered in just gristle.
Gore, right?
Just tell your friends. Okay, you got it. Go.
Bye.
He just gets up and he's just bawling. And he runs away, arms flapping at his sides.
You forgot your mayonnaise packet. When you do that.
He's crying and runs away. You all break out. You see Layla crawling out of the trash can as you go running past, and she's like, "Everything all right?" And starts running.
You should come with us.
Okay.
I'm just gonna be like, I killed somebody with mustard.
She kind of cocks her head to the side and is like, "I wish that surprised me more than it does."
That's true.
He knows
Fair.
as well.
Yeah, that's bad.
Miraculously, with only mild injuries to report, you make your way back to home base. And you've picked up Teal, and you've picked up Jane, a badass Jane. Doc, you throw flavor on the table, get to work. You can make another medicine check. You're going to have a +6 to your check because of being at your lab at this.
And to distract Teal or Flavor from the pain, I'll just like squirt condiment packets into his mouth.
I'm gonna use. Can I use a Sheen to re-roll that one?
The Sheen would roll a d10 and add it to the 2, actually, is the way that would work. If you wanted to use a Benny, you could re-roll both dice.
I'll just add the D10 to it.
All right, so 5. That's enough to heal the 1 wound. You dig the bullet out, get him patched up. As soon as you're in and like relaxed, Jane brings up the news feeds on your view screen. And you see that there are reports flooding in of 2 cities where police officers were taken down by violent counter-protesters.
Okay.
And that these are, the CEO of Secure Corp said he will be investigating and making sure that the parties responsible are brought to justice. However, while in the middle of giving his diatribe live to CNN, we'll say, he is interrupted as the anchor says, we did just receive a package that has been substantiated with timestamps and dates that was apparently taken from one of the servers of Secure Corp and emailed to us anonymously. This indicates that you've been accepting payment from the Kavanaugh campaign. Is that true? And the CEO is like, I have no comment, and like ends his end of the video call.
What a douche.
Over the coming days, this becomes a massive scandal. It turns out the campaign manager had privately contracted Secure Corp to engage in voter intimidation. Through the valiant effort of yourself and heroes like yourselves, people were still able to make it to the ballot box, and Mia Morales won in a landslide victory.
Heroes. Yeah, condiment addict is a hero.
Yeah, it's a loose term.
Right, yeah, I mean, it's, hero adjacent, hero-like. And you have committed wanton violence and terrible destruction in the name of democracy.
Huzzah!
Huzzah!
We win.
You win.
Mayo shakes for everyone.
Oh, I forgot we have to endure those whenever we come back alive.
In the event that this were an ongoing campaign, you would all be awarded an advance, which is how experience works. Basically, you get advances, which you then can spend on new traits, things along those.
Nice.
So yeah, thank you so much for playing this with me. Any questions, comments, complaints, or concerns about Citizens Divided, Savage Worlds, or Election Night?
I would be down to play more of my condiment hero, Jason.
Condiment champion.
Yeah. There's no heroes, only champions. That's right.
Yeah, maybe we can work in some more Citizens Divided at some point. I have a few adventures. I'm going to throw the link up in the chat to where you can get it. But
I've always wanted to play this character ever since I played Shadowrun 7 years ago. The PC versions of the games,
nice.
which are fantastic.
They
I was
are,
like,
yes.
I need this character to exist. I need this crusty, like, ex-mercenary, condiment addicted. Because in my head, all the condiments that we enjoy are like rarities now. So getting any of that stuff is like, it's like, oh yeah, that's a 100-year wine. Oh yeah.
Right, because most people are eating like soy with shitty flavor packets on it.
Yeah. So that was the whole thing. But his character was much more, he wasn't just an alcoholic, like he's just like straight up shooting Kikomen into his veins.
Nice.
Taking the edge off.
I've thrown links in chat if you want to check out Citizens Divided or Election Night. Election Night's the adventure we ran there. There were more things that you could have done, like you could have gone and hacked the servers at Secure Corp to try to figure out what was going on, but you elected to go beat up cops, which I am for. We would not have...
To escalate the situation.
Right, yeah, no, word. I'm for it. There are a few other adventures that are published as well. We've got one called Gun Control, which is about the characters finding out about a shipment of illegal guns and how they decide to deal with that. There's one called Bad Chips, which is a collection of mini stories involving sense chips. Lots of fun stuff. So the setting is it's fun. You can play it a little bit silly, or you can go hard serious cyberpunk with it. And I hope that you all enjoyed checking it out. I hope that everybody who watches the video or is in the chat live also enjoyed it.
The art in it is really good. I'm looking at the preview right now. It's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, a lot of that art is drawn from Cinenomine Studios stock art. They do this they have this fantastic process where they kickstart their books, and one of the things that they put up for stretch goals is if they hit a certain stretch goal, they make all their art free stock art. So it's super cool.
No shit. Yeah, that's badass.
They did a super cool cyberpunk setting themselves, and that's where I grabbed a lot of that art from. So, and their free stuff is up at DriveThruRPG. You want to check that out? Cinenomine. I'll even toss a link to them in the chat too. They're pretty dope. And their games are dope too. They're worth checking out just to check out. But yeah. Once again, I'd like to just thank everybody for hanging out. Let's do a little bit of goodbyes here real quick, and we'll go counterclockwise for me this time since we went clockwise at the top. So Dr. Greaves, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about you, who you are, what you do, pronouns, and who you've been playing.
Hi, I'm Jeremy. I'm Darth Intrary on Twitter, Instagram, pretty much all the social media. I'm also Darth_Intrary on Twitch. I'm on So Matty Games, Duval and Dragons. It's a bi-weekly D&D stream. We're supposed to play this week, but we have a extra life that we're doing with 4 other channels, so it's not happening this week. So 2 weeks from this Sunday, we'll be back streaming another one of our adventures. I will be playing in an extra life game on So Matty Games at 4 a.m. Sunday morning. So if you're insomniac and can't sleep and want to come watch a game that Matty has made, it is a 1-page RPG. That's what I will be doing. And that's pretty much me.
Nope. Next up, we've got Teal Brutal, who lived up to her name.
Fatality.
In every way, shape, and form this session. Go ahead and give us your pertinence, please.
Once I saw the teal hair, I knew what she had to do, and she did not disappoint. Hi, I am Chaz, a PhD student who looks at video games and music and storytelling and how they all work together. And I like to play some D&Ds, but upcoming, I'm going to be DMing tomorrow at 3:30 Eastern. I am DMing a Final Fantasy XIV inspired real play, and then next week on Thursday at a time Eastern. I meant to remember what that is, and I don't remember now. But we'll let you know for sure. We'll be doing a 2 weekly vigil watch game.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say it. Essentially, next week, Thursday, I'll DM a game for vigil watch, and the week after, I'll DM another one.
And that's at 11:30 Eastern.
11:30 Eastern. There we go.
Yep.
PM.
PM. Yeah, it's going to be super fun. So yeah, check it out.
Yeah, dope. Yeah, definitely. And that's going to be over at the Onyx Path Twitch.
Nice.
So definitely, if you haven't gone over there, follow them. Oh, show. Next up, we have Cobalt / Flavor / Flava Flav.
Cobalt flavor.
Go ahead and give us your pertinence, please.
Hi, I'm Trick, or the Hair Trick, because puns and cosmic horror are hilarious. I'm a variety streamer on Twitch, and I focus as much as I can on level design. I play basically whatever. I was a level designer for Relic Entertainment, and then THQ, and then when THQ went bankrupt, Sega, mainly for the Company Hero series. And I, for the last year, have been working on a book with Travis that is my whole own creation thingamabobberdoodle that you can get sneak peeks and early looks into on my Patreon that just went up like a month ago. I'm hoping to be releasing the first race for it, and like 12 subclasses very, very, very soon. So if you're interested in any of that and want to check it out, there's free stuff on the Patreon all the time. You don't have to be a Patreon to see posts on there exclusively. So make sure to stop by and give it a look.
I am throwing that link up in the chat as well.
Sweet.
While I'm doing that, France, give us your
Franz
details.
Gruber. I am also a Jeremy, although I spell it different than that Jeremy. But I don't judge. They're both correct. So you can find me on Twitter at WHPubs, on Facebook at WHPublications, and here on Twitch at WHPublications too, which is where that game that Chaz is running tomorrow, Wednesdays at 3:30 p.m. That's fun. You come watch that. And then on Fridays, I run for Chaz a Starlands actual play, The Curiosity Cache that's also at 3:30, right? No, 4:30. That's at 4:30
on Friday.
Eastern. Yeah. So come join us.
Most definitely. And that's all over at the WH Publications. Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
Do you want me to throw it in there?
Yeah, throw that link up in that chat.
Sure.
And then while we're all sharing links, I also just want to remind you once again to Pretty Please with Sugar on Top, if you've not yet done so. Head over to DriveThruRPG and check out Frostlands of Fenrilik, which is the latest expansion for Scarred Lands. It opens the continent of Fenrilik for play and for creating your own content via the Sluritian Vault. So you can create adventures, classes, subclasses, whatnot, set in the Scarred Lands in Fenrilik using the information in that book and using lore from 3rd edition. You want to convert a character over or expand on something that maybe you feel like was in the previous edition that we missed. The Sluritian Vault's your way to do it. So head over there and check it out. I'm Travis Legg, he, him. I've been the game master of this fun bunch. Thank you all for playing. This has been a hoot. Thank you all for watching. If you haven't done so, and the polls are still open, so if you're in Alaska or Hawaii, probably, please go vote.
Or if you're still in line.
You're still in
please
line.
vote.
If you're watching this on your phone, you're sitting in line. Just keep watching Twitch shows until you get through. They have to let you vote. Don't let anyone tell you different.
It's true.
Hopefully, when I will be streaming next tomorrow night, we'll be here at this channel playing Scarred Lands Sins of Shelzar. That should be fun. We have to figure out what's going to happen. I think the last time we played, our Ironbred lost her shit and murdered like half the guards in the neighborhood they were in. So, they're gonna. It might be.
She's not a Sutak.
It's such
Part
a
of the
fine
reason
line.
she lost her shit was somebody called her a Sutak.
Because that shit is going on in our game too. These Ironbred are so testy.
I know, right? Definitely check that out. That's going to be a lot of fun. And then also, I'm running Scarred Lands 4 times this weekend at GameHoleCon. So if you want to come play Skylands with me, there's still tickets available. Go to GameholeCon.com. I think it's $5 to attend the virtual convention, and then you can all the games I think are free tickets. So you could look for Skylands. I'm running those games. I know Eddie Webb is running some Pugmire, and I know there's a ton of Adventurers League play happening. So it's a good thing to do this weekend. Check out GameholeCon.com. And thank you all so much again. We'll see you soon. Have a good day. And
Thanks, Travis.
Good luck,
Thank you,
America.
Travis.
America!
Thanks for playing.